Unit 17, The War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells 1. Why are so many people fascinated by alien beings? Which books, films and TV programs have featured aliens? What do they look like? 2. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells was first published in 1898. This extract from Chapter 4 describes the first appearance on Earth of creatures from another planet when they land in London and the south of England. What kind of aliens would you expect in a novel from that time? Read the extract to see if you were right. Number 3. These groups of words from the extract all have something in common. Match them to the meanings AH. 1. Chill, horror, terror, petrified, dread. 2. Monstrous, fungoid. 3. Staring, regarding, glimpse. 4. Shriek, exclamations, cry. 5. Stirring, writhing, wriggled, quivered, pulsated, swayed, bobbing. 6. Bulk, immense mass. 7. Tentacles, brow, chin, lungs. 8. Luminous, greyish, lank, V-shaped, wedge-like, oily are parts of the creature's body. B. Ways of looking. C. Ways of not keeping still. D. Ugliness. E. Fear. F. Adjectives describing the alien. G. Large size. H. Ways of shouting. 4. Answer the questions about the way the extract is written. 1. How does the author create suspense in the description of the alien? 2. What do you notice about the sentence lengths in this extract? Why does the author do this? 3. Which similes describe the alien as it emerged from the cylinder? B. The sound it made as it fell out. 4. Why do you think the author wrote this as a first-person narrative? Number 5. Answer the questions about the detail of the extract. 1. How was the narrator mistaken about the alien? 2. Why did the tentacles look sinister? What is the connection with Gorgons? 3. What did the narrator do when he saw the tentacles? 4. Why did the alien move so slowly? What was most striking about the alien's appearance? 6. Why did the narrator nearly fall as he ran? 7. What did he think he heard when the man disappeared? Why didn't the narrator try to rescue the man? What do you think? How likely is the existence of intelligent life on other worlds? What forms might we expect alien beings to have? Will humans ever make contact with them, or them with us? Would alien beings necessarily be hostile to humans? Would we be hostile to them? Why? Why not? How are aliens often portrayed in books and films? What does this tell us about ourselves? Project. On October 30th, 1938, a radio broadcast of the War of the Worlds had serious consequences. Find out more about this and write an account of it for a website for science fiction fans. Include information on where it happened and who was involved, the nature of the broadcast, the public reaction to the broadcast,
Pages 36 and 37. Exercise 2. The War of the Worlds. I think everyone expected to see a man emerge, possibly something a little unlike us terrestrial men, but in all essentials, a man. I know I did, but looking, I presently saw something stirring within the shadow. Greyish, billowy movements, one above another, and then 2 luminous discs, like eyes. Then something resembling a little grey snake, about the thickness of a walking stick, coiled up out of the writhing middle and wriggled in the air towards me. And then another. A sudden chill came over me. There was a loud shriek from a woman behind. I half turned, keeping my eyes fixed upon the cylinder still, from which other tentacles were now projecting, and began pushing my way back from the edge of the pit. I saw astonishment giving place to horror on the faces of the people about me. I heard inarticulate exclamations on all sides. There was a general movement backwards. I saw the shopman struggling still on the edge of the pit. I found myself alone and saw the people on the other side of the pit running off, Stent among them. I looked again at the cylinder, and ungovernable terror gripped me. I stood petrified and staring. A big, greyish, rounded bulk, the size perhaps of a bear, was rising slowly and painfully out of the cylinder. As it bulged up and caught the light, it glistened like wet leather. Two large, dark-coloured eyes were regarding me steadfastly. The mass that framed them, the head of the thing, was rounded and had, one might say, a face. There was a mouth under the eyes, the lipless brim of which quivered and panted and dropped saliva. The whole creature heaved and pulsated convulsively. A lank, tentacular appendage gripped the edge of the cylinder. Another swayed in the air. Those who have never seen a living Martian can scarcely imagine the strange horror of its appearance. The peculiar V-shaped mouth with its pointed upper lip, the absence of brow ridges, the absence of a chin beneath the wedge-like lower lip, the incessant quivering of this mouth, the gorgon groups of tentacles, the tumultuous breathing of the lungs in a strange atmosphere, the evident heaviness and painfulness of movement due to the greater gravitational energy of the Earth. Above all, the extraordinary intensity of the immense eyes were at once vital, intense, inhuman, crippled, and monstrous. There was something fungoid in the oily brown skin, something in the clumsy deliberation of the tedious movements unspeakably nasty. Even at this first encounter, this first glimpse, I was overcome with disgust and dread. Suddenly, the monster vanished. It had toppled over the brim of the cylinder and fallen into the pit with a thud like the fall of a great mass of leather. I heard it give a peculiar, thick cry, and forthwith another of these creatures appeared darkly in the deep shadow of the aperture. I turned and, running madly, made for the first group of trees, perhaps 100 yards away. But I ran slantingly and stumbling, for I could not avert my face from these things. There, among some young pine trees and furze bushes, I stopped, panting, and waited further developments. The common round the sandpits was dotted with people, standing like myself in a half-fascinated terror, staring at these creatures, or rather at the heaped gravel at the edge of the pit in which they lay. And then, with a renewed horror, I saw a round black object bobbing up and down on the edge of the pit. It was the head of the shopman who had fallen in, but showing as a little black object against the hot western sun. Now he got his shoulder and knee up, and again he seemed to slip back until only his head was visible. Suddenly, he vanished, and I could have fancied a faint shriek had reached me. I had a momentary impulse to go back and help him, that my fears overruled.